The protests in Iran are now in their third week. A US-based human rights group says that the death toll from the security forces' crackdown has crossed 2,500 mark. Iranian state television, in a broadcast on Tuesday, offered the first official acknowledgement of deaths in protests, quoting an official saying that there was a high number of martyrs and that it did not release a toll earlier because of the dead suffering gruesome injuries. However, the statement came only after the rights groups reported their toll. It also released footage that's said to show the scenes of aftermath of protests in several major cities. The images depicted buildings on fire, burnt vehicles, and damaged bank.
They burnt almost 50 vehicles, buses, private cars, and emergency vehicles.
President Donald Trump, in a post on Truth Social, urged people to continue protesting and called on them to take over government institutions, assuring help was on the way. When questioned what he meant by help was on its way, President Trump declined to clarify. The US president also said that nobody has been able to give him an accurate number for how many protesters have been killed in recent demonstrations across the country.
I have heard numbers from everything's a lot. One is a lot. But I've heard numbers much lower and I've heard numbers much higher. We'll be knowing. We're probably going to find out over the next 24 hours. I think it's a lot.
In an interview with the CBS later in the day, President Trump warned that a deadly crackdown on protesters would bring a lot of problems for the country's leadership.
We don't want to see what's happening in Iran happen. And, you know, if they want to have protests, that's one thing. When they start killing thousands of people, and now you're telling me about hanging, we'll see how that works out for them. It's not going to work out good.
Reports suggest Israeli and Arab officials have privately suggested that US hold back on large-scale strikes. They believe the Iranian regime may not yet be weakened to the point where US military strikes would be a decisive blow that topples it. There are also reports doing the rounds that President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, has secretly met the son of Iran's ousted Shah, that is, Reza Pahlavi, to discuss the ongoing protests. As ambiguity prevails over US next action, Iran's UN ambassador, Amir Saeed Iravani, has written to the United Nations Security Council. In this letter, he has assured Trump of encouraging political destabilization, inciting violence, and threatening the country's sovereignty, territorial integrity, and national security. The letter even said that the US, along with Israel, bore direct and undeniable legal responsibility for the loss of civilian lives, particularly among the youth. UGC images posted on social media platform show dozens of bodies lying at the Forensic Diagnostic Center of Tehran province, that is Kahar Razak, as grieving relatives continue to search for their loved ones.
ببینیم این بره